Guys, I got Bay back. So what does that mean? We have tons of parts just chilling at home. So Sunday Fun Day, we got projects going. So this one is long overdue that a viewer actually sent me a year, like probably a year ago. So sorry, dude, you know who you are, but let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, we're talking about these. These are shifter bushings by Sixth Element Engineering. So these are meant to go on the shifter base to kind of give you a bit more rigidity, especially when you're doing very enthusiastic driving or hard shifting, because these stock bushings are a rubber element. So these are actually a bargain. They're like, I believe, $29 directly from Sixth Element. So again, these are a bargain at $29. This is probably one of those mods that a lot of people, if you drive a manual, should definitely invest, whether it's a nav or a Veloster Turbo. I will apologize ahead of time because this video is obviously directed at the crowd that have a manual. So for those of you guys that with an automatic or a DCT, forgive me, I'm sorry. So let's get straight into this. All right guys, so firm disclaimer for this video, for this install, you're gonna require a few tools. A Phillips head screwdriver, I'd say one with a decent extension, a 10mm socket, a 12mm socket, and a decent extension. So mainly three tools: 10mm socket, 12mm socket, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Let's jump straight into it. So we're going inside the car, and first things first, you actually want to lift the armrest. As you can see, I kind of already got started. This right here, and right here where they connect here, you're literally just gonna like manhandle it and yank it up, and it just comes loose relatively easily and quickly. On these Sixth Element Engineering instructions, it says it takes little effort. It took me a little bit of effort just because, let's be real, you guys might be freaked out that you're gonna break it. It won't break, but you know, just kind of give it a bit of strength, pull it up, yank up, and then you're pretty much already there. The next step is that you have to take off your shift knob, which is literally just rotating it counterclockwise, so towards the driver's side. So let's do that next step. So I'm unscrewing this, and this is actually probably easier than taking off the trim. Literally just a little bit of strength, and it's coming right off. Make sure that everything you have, including that little spring and bushing, you keep together. You don't want to lose any pieces. Real quick for this section, there's this little rubber panel, so you remove it and then just again kind of manhandle it a little bit, and then start pulling away. This has the reverse lockout, so I have to figure this part out real quick first. We'll even have to see if we could even remove it, but again, as you can see, it's all kind of taken apart. So now just to remove this trim piece. All right, quick update. So once you do that, you actually want to loosen the center part, which holds the shift boot, and this little tab right here that's covering the rest of where the handbrake goes. Once you do that, you'll be able to remove this easily, because otherwise, yeah. So as you can see, I'm pushing this through the trim piece. So now it's coming out, and it's out. So with this, this has the reverse lockout, so that's gonna kind of obviously be your biggest issue to not remove. But as you can see, this is the shifter base column. And right there, there's a bolt right there where I'm pointing at. There's one on the other side, right there. And there's two down here, one here and one here, that we basically have to get to. Replace those with the steel ones after removing the rubber bushings, and then putting it all back together. But yeah, now while I'm here, I'm actually doing an extra step. And there's actually another little base ring, so you can see I removed the outer plastic trim, which is this ring right here. And the reason why I'm doing that is because while I'm here, I figured why not replace my shift boot. I'm still very fond of the shift knob, so I won't be dealing with that. But I do want to remove and replace this, as nice as it is. So yeah, that's an extra little bonus that we'll get to in a moment. So the next step, now that you've taken all that apart, to make your life easy, is you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver to remove these two. Basically, you're going to be removing the support to make your life a little bit easier. And you're going to need a 10mm socket for that bolt and this black bolt right here. So we're going to go ahead and remove those, and then that way it'll give us a little bit easier access to the shift column. Alright guys, so once you take off the bolts and the screws, you'll notice that they have these little clips that go into these into this and that hole right there. This is plastic shim, so literally just lift it up a little bit, same on the other side, to take off these little kind of like teeth that lock into there. And then that should make your life easy to start removing this. Perfect. So I'm having Luis remove it.
Lift up your side a little bit.
I'll lift up my side a little bit.
Use your strong arm, son.
There we go. And so that came out nice and easy. Make sure also to, not that you'll get these mixed up, but make sure to put your bolts and screws aside somewhere so you won't lose them. All right, update. So we decided to take this off because it does state in the directions that if you have larger hands, it would be a hindrance. And believe me, for those 2 back bolts, it definitely was. So we'll kind of show you the process real quick, but it was actually fairly easy. Let me go into the car to show you. So this little extra bridge right here had 2 Phillips that was connecting, basically holding that trim piece that we just removed. And then 2 clips back here, where you can see easily right back there. And then when you pull forward, they hook into this. And then that's basically it. You can remove it. So now you have all this room. Be careful not to mess with any of the shift linkage or the airbag controller. This is the only thing we're worried about right now. So much easier, not a huge deal. And as a bonus, for those of you guys that are trying to wire your rear view cameras, now you're able to route the cable from the inside, so it's not gonna look so nasty. Oh yeah, my bad, dash cam. What did I say?
Rear view cameras.
Rear view cameras, whatever. Some of you guys might have rear view dash cameras too. All right, so now that we're this far ahead, I guess I should say this probably isn't for the faint of heart, but honestly, it's not that hard. Once you're in here, like, it looks scarier than it is because of everything missing, but honestly, it's not really a big deal. Like, it's literally removing a few bolts. I think the most we've had to remove is probably like 8, so it's really not a big deal. But now you see the shifter bushings exposed, so we're gonna go ahead and remove those. So give me 2 seconds to see how to do that, and then we'll update you. All right, so fast forward. Yeah, I'm glad we took this because there was no way we were gonna do it without removing this section. So as you can see, there's these little metal cylinders. This one's been removed. You can either do it from underneath up or literally push straight down, and this will pop out. You need to remove these on each side in order to then remove the bushing, which is going to be a pain because it's on there specifically. So yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. I think the easiest method would be to do it from the bottom. So let me try that real quick. All right, so as you can see, I'm holding the base with my left hand. This project, I would probably say, would definitely be helpful with friends, but you'll need needle nose pliers, and essentially I just clipped the edge of the rubber, as you can see here, and I'm just pushing it straight through. So it should come out the other side like a donut, just pop out. So let me push this through real quick. You might hear me grunt a little bit. It's almost through. Whoa, all right, you heard that? So it's gone. It's, well, let me set this down carefully. So it's now gone, and this is what we ended up removing. So this is the bottom part. So yeah, I definitely recommend doing it from the top down, because if you pulled it up, that'd be kind of hard to pull through. So yeah, and now we're going to install the new one just so you can see how that looks. But let me remove the other side first, so that way at the very least we can have them all removed and then replace all of them. All right guys, so we got these in. I'm having Subi Lou help me tighten them right now. Yeah, so because of the fact that the bottom portion of the washer, well, it's not the washer, but the bottom bushing, the metal one, once it goes in, it doesn't actually go through the hole. It just seats perfectly. So what I would actually probably recommend you doing it is seating them, making sure they don't fall down, and then setting this down, put the washers in, and then align them. Align the rears first, and then put the bolt in just slightly tight that it's not going to move in the back, and then adjust the fronts, because otherwise you're in for a hard, difficult, daunting time. So once they're all in, it's specified that these are hand tight, so you do not want to tighten these past 1/8 to 1/4 of a turn after you feel that there's resistance with the wrench. So I'll go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, you could do it. Let's see. There we go. Just a little bit. Nice enough to be snug. We'll do this one again to show. So it's still loose. There we go. And then same for these two. So after that's done, you're pretty much set. We just got to put it all together. Just a small note, you won't be using these little inserts ever again, or the bushings, but just in case, I guess, like anything, I'd say keep them on hand just in case you may need them in the future. Hopefully not, but it's always good to keep them just in case. All right, so we put this shim piece back together. We made sure it locked in there, and there's clips back there that we still have to put back. We're focusing on these 2 screws across this bridge, and then after that we'll put the support, that metal piece over there that goes here. We're just putting these back in right here, the body panels, and then last but not least we'll just put the main long cover and we should be good to go. All right, the support bridge is back on, 2 bolts here, the nuts that are requiring the 10-inch down there, 10mm I mean. Now the last piece, the main piece that connects all this together. Alright guys, so for those of you watching right now, we've reassembled everything. Everything's good to go. I'll go over this install in another video because that dragged on way too long. But the last thing is to put the shift knob back on and we're good to go. Alright guys, we literally just pushed this in. It clipped in completely, just reseated. Shift boots back on. Now the last thing to do is put the shift knob on. So alright guys, so as such, like I said, the last thing was a shift knob. We are putting back the spring, which had that little rubber piece in it. If you ask me what it is, honestly, I don't know. Push down and then just start twisting clockwise, but we want to make sure it stops the way it should. Oh, there we go. And there, I think that's it. Perfect. I'll look at it in a moment from seated, but it looks like it's exactly the way we want it. Everything's working properly. And then the reverse lockout, that works. Perfect. Alright guys, success, it's all set up. Thank you to Subilu as always. Now to get our impressions on what the shift bushings actually did to this baby.
It's locked, doors are closed.
Alright guys, we're in, we're strapped up. We got fuel, we got tunes, we got, well, that, but we'll explain in a different video. Time to test drive this baby. Let's go. All right guys, so we're back at home base, and honestly, night and day difference. The shifting is super firm in the sense that it's not hard. It's just when you initiate any kind of shift, even in first gear, it's a solid shift. You feel, well, you eliminated all of that mushy feeling, especially when you were doing spirited driving, like doing quick shifts, or in the case of people with rally specs, or with R specs and rally editions that have the short shifter, it just makes things so much smoother. It's nice solid shifts, just no questioning about it, just super firm, very responsive, very predictable, just in the zone. So for $30, I'd highly recommend this mod, guys. But that's it, we're back at home base. So as always guys, thanks for all the love and support. Thanks for watching this extremely long video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. More wind. And a car passing by. 1, 2 cars passing by. And are we gonna have a third? Are we gonna have a third? No? Just a pedestrian.